Okay, continuing from the previous example, the if we were to you have an annuity due, the um, we would with an annuity due, our cash flows move to the beginning of the period. So instead of this, from going from an ordinary annuity to annuity due, this $400 moves back one period. All of them move back one period. So there's one additional uh, period of interest earning. So um, if we were just to use a timeline methodology, our first payment would grow for 3 years, so 1.05 cubed. The second payment would grow for 2 years, 1.05 squared. And the third payment would grow for 1 year, just 1.05 to the first power. So that would be $1,324.05. If you recall, our with the payments at the end of the period, I believe there were 12. The value was $1,261. So that one additional period of interest is the for each of the $400, it results in an additional earnings of just over $60. Um, so with a formula, we just we would we'd take the original formula and multiply it by 1 plus R. So our original formula, this should be 1.05. So 400 times 1.05 to the third power minus 1 divided by 0.05, and then we multiply that result by 1.05, and that would give us our $1,324. On our calculator, we can take our old calculation as long as everything is we use the calculator has a pretty good memory. So anything you enter in there is going to stay in there. Anytime we do a time value of money calculation, there is a clear function. I don't use it. I make sure that if you enter if you enter any four of these and then they compute the fifth, you don't need to use the clear function. But so, but in this case, the uh, the calculation. Okay, to do this calculation, we have to switch the calculator to begin mode. So that's for payments that are due payments. And how do we do that? Um, we we go second. Whoops. All right, there we go. Second. Second is the key. The second key on the left-hand side down below the compute. Um, then then we hit the begin. When you hit the second key, it refers to what's above the key, which is BGN. BGN is above the payment key. And then we do second, enter. And in the upper right-hand corner, we're going to see BGN on our calculator. So, and then as long as all this information is still entered in your calculator, then you just compute future value, and that's your $1,324.05. When you complete a problem like this, make sure you do second, begin, second, enter. This will remove you from begin mode. So I've had students in the past that have worked entire exams in begin mode, which results in incorrect answers for for any problem, because everything else is going to be worked in ordinary or end mode. So cash flow streams. payment, or PMT, designates a constant cash flow or an annuity. So so if we have a single payment, we're going to use the PV or the FV, depending on whether it's now or in the future. Payment is going to allow for multiple cash flows of the same amount. So cash flow designates cash flows in general or both constant cash flows and uneven cash flow. So that is the cash flow function. So in order to access that, we hit second and CF. So we can do a future value. This is one of the reasons you're supposed to have the BA2 Plus Professional, because if you have a BA2 Plus, the BA2 Plus will not do the future value of any cash flow. But for if you were to use a timeline, in this case we've got $400 received at the end of year one, $300 at the end of year two, and $250 at the end of year three. Our rate of return is 5%. So it's 400 times 1.05 squared, 300 times 1.05, and then a 250 does not earn any interest. So that's if we receive those payments at the end of the year, the future value of those cash flows is $1,006. So there really isn't an equation solution. It's the equation solution is to calculate all of them individually, which is what's taking place here. It's our 400 times 1.05 squared, 300 times 1.05 to the first power, and then 250, and this is just one, so we get our $1,006. All right, so I'm going to take a step back here, right here. Where are we? All right. Okay. So the cash flow function, and in order to calculate this, it'd be second cash flow. And the computer is going to display CF0. In this case, there's no cash flow for CF0. So we hit the down arrow, and then we'll go to C01. C01 refers to this cash flow. So you type in 400, enter. And then below that is F01. If we go, that's the frequency. Default is 1. Frequency is the number of time that it occurs. And then if we go C02 is going to be our 300. So again, enter. And then down arrow, we go down arrow twice to C03, and that's our 250. And then we hit the NPV key, and then it's going to display I, and then you enter, it'd be 5, enter. There are more examples of this in the problems, but so 5, enter, and to get to net future value is what you're looking for. You need to go down twice. So that's 2 arrows, and hit compute, and you would get $1,006. So a little cumbersome, but probably easier than doing all of these individually.